Guled Dafai, Somaliland human rights defender, talked about the arrest of Ahmed Daoud, who was recently arrested by the Somaliland security forces for more than 30 days. You have been following closely the arrest of Ahmed Daoud by the Somaliland security agencies. What can you tell us about the case?
Thank you very much. I've been following the case for two reasons. Number one, I'm human rights defender, and that's what I mostly do. But secondly, Ahmed is also a family member.
The human rights defender criticized the arrest, saying that it did not follow the legal procedure. Also, he said that Ahmed Daoud's arrest was illegal and took away his right.
Ahmed was arrested on the 24th of November by three men, first, who attacked him while he was at premises rented to the KAH political association. Ahmed is a member of the newly registered organization called KAH. The three men, two of them were plain clothed. They didn't have any security agency uniform. They had pistols directed to Ahmed. One of them was with a uniform that is not used by the security agency, so we couldn't locate where he is with. After the attack, where he was injured and wounded by the three men, they also called a pack of police officers from Kolpur police station. Then he was arrested and taken to the police station. On the 27th, the court released him on bail because there was no case submitted by the police and there were no reasonable grounds to hold him. But unfortunately, in the second day, he was arrested without reasons, and since then he has been denied of bail, although he has a right to be released with bail.
He was charged for characterizing the president Bihi as a khat trader and also a land grabber. What's your response to this?
Ahmed is well known for his social media posts, which are mostly in the form of political satire. And he posted several comments regarding the president's leadership style. And as a politician and someone who is well known in social media as a political satire, he has every right to do that, to express his opinion, to criticize the leadership of the president. And that's not a crime under the law. Under the constitution of the Republic of Somaliland, people have a freedom to express their opinion, to have an opinion. And that opinion can upset a president. Therefore, the president has no right to imprison everyone who makes him unhappy. If he didn't like what Ahmed said, Ahmed has a right to make him unhappy. So it's very unfortunate that Ahmed is in prison because he posted something that made the president unhappy. And the prosecution clearly mentioned the Facebook posts in the charge sheet. So these are what Ahmed is charged with, and it's just ridiculous and upset, and it shows the brutality of this government and their disregard to the constitution and the international human rights instruments.
So you think it's right to say about the president, whether it's right or wrong?
You can say whatever you want against the president. You know, if you say he is that or he is that, if you characterize his leadership to be equal to or similar to other people, you know, you have the right to say that, and you have the right to say the president is a good person. You have the right to say he's a bad person. That's what we call freedom of expression. Look at democracies. In democracy, you don't put people in prison because they criticized a president. You don't put people in prison because they posted something that is a political satire. Ahmed makes that not only against the government but also against the opposition parties. You know, he's well known of posting things like that. So it is a textbook abuse of power. You know, if you have a power and you are not happy, and then you say, okay, you have to put that person in prison. It's simple as that.
You think that characterizing the president as a land grabber is right?
Okay, to put this into context, first and foremost, there were a lot of people who went on media, including CP, and accused the president that he has taken away their land. This is not something Ahmed made up. This is people on the streets in Hargeisa who said that, who are still saying that, who are on the record, who are still claiming that. Is that true or not? It's not me to charge it, it's not Ahmed to charge it. So that's something that's a fact, that's something that has happened. I don't know why he's unhappy with that.
As a human rights defender, do you think that freedom of speech in Somaliland is declining in the past few years?
Since President Bihi came in power in 2017, he has arrested many people for social media posts. He arrested and detained journalists. He shut down media houses. So many media houses were suspended by this government in the last 5 years. Opposition politicians will crack it down to the level of the Secretary General of one of the opposition parties was put in prison. Dozens of opposition supporters were detained without charges, and they have been in the prison for weeks without appearing before a court. If you remember, in 11 August, the opposition protesters were cracked down by the government, who used brutality and excessive force, according to the parliament's report. So freedom of expression is declining. It is worrisome. Ahmed is not the first person arrested of what he said, and I'm afraid he will not be the last person. But I think this government has to change this course. It has to accept that there is a constitution. It has to accept that Somaliland is a democracy. It has to accept that that it cannot simply use power to put people in prison. Freedom of expression is enshrined in our constitution. The people of Somaliland who wrote this constitution said clearly that people have a right to express their opinion. And when we say people have a right to express their opinion, it means also that people can say something you don't like. So if you say something you don't like, you don't just call the police and arrest the person. That's what happened to Ahmed. There was no due process of law. There was no court warrant. There were no case against him. He was apprehended by people who attacked him while he was in a house. They had no warrant whatsoever, and we have a video that's recorded of the incident. So it is a textbook abuse of power, and I'm really sorry to see that, and to see that the government of Somaliland is behaving in that way in the 21st century.
What message would you like to leave for the public regarding the freedom of speech?
The people of Somaliland wrote the constitution and decided Somaliland to become a democracy and a country that's based on constitutionalism. Now what is under threat is the constitution and democracy and freedom of expression. I think the people of Somaliland should be united to demand this government to respect the constitution. This is not about politics. It is not about any partisan. It is not about personal interest. It's not about group interest. It is what we have agreed upon, and that's what is written in our constitution. Therefore, let us defend our constitution. Let us tell this government that it cannot simply violate the constitution. Let us tell our security agencies and judiciary, you cannot persecute someone because he made the president unhappy. You know, people as citizens in a democracy have a right to make the president very, very unhappy every other day. And look at democracies all over the world. That's what people are doing. Some people support a president, they make him very happy. Some people don't like him, they make him unhappy. You don't use power, police and the courts and the prison system to imprison someone who simply posted something. Why Ahmed is in a prison in the last 30 days? He is not a criminal, he's not armed, he's not a dangerous man. He's just a young man who posts on social media. Why he was now he's denied of bail. So I'm really worried about Somaliland democracy. Ahmed will be out one day, even if they convict him and give him many years. He will be out one day. But what I'm worried about is Somaliland's democratic process and constitutionalism and freedom of expression. Democracy cannot exist without freedom of speech. So it is something people's rights. That's why they have to defend their rights.
حنان عبد الرحمن CBA هرقيسة.